Last night in Boonville, the Lumberjacks lost their 10th game in a row, the longest active and streak of any kind in the PGCBL this summer. But the sun shines another day here in Oneonta, where the Lumberjacks take on the Outlaws and try to stop the streak there at 10. I'm Evan Simbita here on the Boonville Radio Network, and we are happy to have you down here out for the Lumberjacks here. It's going to be a 7 p.m. start time, obviously a little bit past that now, but just waiting to get started. Just got lineup cards, so sifting through that information right now. But one thing we do know out on the mound to start this game for the Outlaws is Braden Johnson, the left-hander out of Cornell University, comes into this game with a 3.42 ERA in 6 appearances. 5 of them starts for the lefty. He's got 25 strikeouts and only 9 earned runs in over 23 innings pitched, and comes out here trying to stop this Boonville lineup. It's Kenais Davis, the leadoff hitter, back from the Swingman Classic yesterday. Then Devon Abaga, Masai Marshall, Wyatt Lassiter, Michael Clarkson, Carson Beatty, Zeb Swangham, Will Hill, Elijah Negron, and Seth Bischoff round out the 10-man lineup for the Boonville Lumberjacks tonight. Davis stepping up to the plate right now. Fresh off the Swingman Classic last night, playing in Citizens Bank Park over in Philadelphia, home of the Philadelphia Phillies. That at-bat that he had, second one of the night, was just under 20 hours ago, but already back in Boonville, and here comes the first pitch. Checks on that one, but does not go, and it's up high for ball 1. Fastball misses from Johnson. Davis was 0 for 2 in the Swingman, as here comes the 1-0. Takes that fastball up high yet again, 2-0 the count. Was 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a lineout. Really could have been 1 of 1 with a walk, as here comes the 2-0. Takes that one pretty much the same spot, this time called for a strike. First at-bat was a liner into the outfield that was ultimately caught by the second baseman, as here comes the 2-1. Swung on and fouled back and out of play, 2-2 the count. And the next one was what should have been ball 4. It was way outside on the graphic on MLB Network, but ultimately was a called third strike. But back here in Boonville, 2-2 the count. Here comes the pitch from Johnson. Swings and hits this one into right field, and that one gets down for a hit. Second baseman couldn't snag that one as it's out of the reach of Tomei, and Boonville have their leadoff man on. Davis makes way for Devon Abaga, the second baseman now. That's one thing that we know Boonville have struggled with as of late, is getting that leadoff man on. And with Davis back in the lineup after a couple days of absence, it's a big help for this Lumberjack team. Abaga stands in from the right side as Kenais Davis goes from first. The throw is not in time as Davis in there with lots of time to spare. And he steals second right there. That pitch also a strike on Devon Abaga. So 0-1 the count, runner on second now for the Seattle native. Johnson has been fast pitching here tonight. The 0-1 delivery already on the way. Takes that one. Fastball hits the bottom part of the zone for strike 2. So it's Abaga, who played in the Amsterdam game last night, was 0 for 3 with a walk. Did have one strikeout as well, looking to avoid one right here. The 0-2. Swings and hits this one high. It's popped up down the first base line. Underneath this is the first baseman, Penner, who makes the catch in foul territory. Davis can't go anywhere from second, and that is out number 1. So it brings up Masai Marshall, the designated hitter. Another returner from that Amsterdam game last night. Had a 2-run shot for 4 at-bats last night. Also had 2 strikeouts and grounded into a double play. Johnson stares him down, checks on the runner at second, and kicks and fires. That one taken down low in the dirt and hits Marshall in the foot. So runners on first and second now. A hit by pitch on the first one that Marshall sees, and that brings up Wyatt Lassiter. So second man on already in 3 batters, and brings up the right fielder Lassiter. Lassiter hadn't played since the game against Utica all the way back on June 9th. Had 3 hits in that one, including a double and 2 flyouts. Broke what was a lengthy slump for the outfielder, as here comes the first delivery. Shows bunt, gets that one down the first baseline, but foul. 0-1 the count as Marshall has to walk back to first from second base. Lassiter's got 3 hits in his last 8 games. He had a big slump, as pretty much everyone did on this Boonville team, but is starting to get out of that funk. Stands in from the right side here today. Here comes the pitch as the runner goes from second. Swings and fouls this one back and out of play, however. So Davis has to go back to second base. 0-2 the count on Lassiter now. Last couple of games he's been sporting the brand new neon pink batting gear, but today goes with the yellow that he was wearing before he got the new gear. So just trying to reset, see what can make things work for him. The 0-2 on the way. Taken up high for ball 1. 1-2 the count as none of the runners went on that one. Maybe some tired legs on the base paths as the count moves to 1-2. Johnson checks on both runners before delivering. Swung on and hit high down the first base line. This one careening out of play, but ultimately caught again by the first baseman Penner in foul territory, and that is out number 2. So 2 foul outs to the first baseman represent the first 2 outs on the board for Boonville, and it brings up the extra hitter Michael Clarkson. Batting 5th here today. We've seen him go up and down in the lineup. Never really that much lower than 5th, however. He was batting 3rd yesterday, but now 2 spots lower. Here's the first delivery. Takes that fastball in there for a called strike on the outside corner. So 0-1 the count now on Clarkson. Just announced yesterday as an all-star in the PGCBL East as a designated hitter, even though he has mixed in pitching as well. Here's the 0-1. Fastball up high. 1-1 the count now. And Clarkson has really been hitting well in the last couple weeks. On the season, he's got a .230 average with 3 home runs, 19 RBI. One of those a homer just a couple days ago against Utica. Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss on that one in the dirt, and Clarkson down to his final strike right here. He's reached base safely in 6 of his last 7 games played. Did it as well last night with a walk and 2 hit by pitch. Here comes the 1-2 as the runner goes from second. This one swung back and out of play again, however. And Davis has to go back. Clarkson, a sophomore, just graduated from Paris Junior College, looking for his next 4-year home. Something in the works, but nothing announced yet. Has the 1-2 on the way. Swing and a miss on that one, out in front of that one. And that is strike 3 on Clarkson. He goes down swinging for out number 3, and that will do it. Boonville leave a runner stranded on first and second. Still 0-0 heading to the bottom of the first inning. We'll be right back on the Boonville Radio Network after this. So it's Jadlyn Fullwood out here tasked with taking down this Oneonta lineup for the Lumberjacks, starting out on the mound. The right-hander did have a previous appearance against Oneonta as the first delivery on the way to Jack Lockwood. That one taken outside for ball one. Had 5 innings pitched in Oneonta on July 4th with 9 hits, 1 walk, and 5 earned runs, as here's the next one. Swung on and hit high into shallow center field. Coming in on this one is Will Hill, who steals the catch away from the center fielder, Kanias Davis, for out number 1. So now it's Ryan Johnston, the shortstop from Seton Hall, up. But Fullwood did surrender 6 runs, 5 of them earned. Had no strikeouts in that last Oneonta game. Just coming fresh off of that NAIA World Series win with Tennessee Wesleyan. So bringing championship experience to this Boonville squad as here comes the first pitch. Down low in the dirt, fastball misses for ball 1. It's Johnston out there now, who comes into the day batting just 182 on the season. Only 6 hits in 13 games, as here's the 1-0. Down low in the dirt, bounces off of the foot of the catcher Bischoff, and the count moves to 0-2 now. Only had 1 at-bat at Seton Hall during his freshman year, was a strikeout. So here comes the 2-0. Swing on and hit to the left side. Negron's got it. Long throw over to first is picked out of the dirt by Beatty, and he is out. A close pitch right there, and a close call over at first, and that is out number 2. Johnston not too happy about that one. Looking down at me as he made the turn from first to run back to the dugout, and that is out number 2. So brings up Nolan Stark, the center fielder. Stark, one of 2 Oneonta natives, along with Bruce Missler, who is batting 10th here today. Here's the first delivery, taken in there for a fastball. Stark comes into the day with a .333 average. Leads the team in RBIs with 13. So here's the 0-1. Taken up high, 1-1 the count now. He's got hits in 7 of his last 9 games. Just a high school senior, but already making an impact. Here's the next pitch. Down low yet again, 2-1 the count. Fullwood has been fast pitching already here in this one. Him and Johnson going back and forth. Quick delivery as here comes the 2-1. Swung on and hit into center field. That one's going to get down for a hit. Coming over and scooping it up is Kanias Davis, who gets it in quickly. But it's the first base runner of the day for Oneonta. A single from Nolan Stark and brings up Caden Kraus. So Kraus serving as the extra hitter today. Comes into the day with just 5 hits, 8 walks, and 21 at-bats. Bats with a runner on first, 2 outs. The first pitch from Fullwood. Swung on and hit back out of play. That's going to be an 0-1 count now. Kraus does have a .484 on-base percentage, however. Those walks and some hit-by pitches have made that a key stat for him. Stands in from the right side, awaits the 0-1. Here it comes as the runner goes from first. That one outside for a ball, and the ball in the dirt. It gets into center field. Stark doesn't know it, though, and has to stay right there. Davis picking that one up in center field as Stark looks at him. I think if he knew that that one was in center, he would have grabbed third base as well, but regardless, a runner in scoring position here for Kraus.
Hey, let's go. Get a hit. Bring him in.
1-1 the count. Fullwood gets the sign from Bischoff. Here's the pitch. Takes that curveball down low. 2-1 the count now. Kraus has only seen Boonville one time prior this season. That was back on July 4th. Getting his second game played against the Lumberjacks here today. Fullwood ready for the 2-1. Here it is. Swung on and fouled to the backstop. 2-2 the count now. And one thing about Fullwood is hasn't gotten a strikeout yet this year. Looking for his first one with Caden Kraus down 2-2. Here's the pitch. Taken in there for a called third strike. Hits the bottom part of the zone, and that is how the inning will end. Oneonta leave a runner stranded on second. We go to the top of the second inning. Boonville, Oneonta, 0-0 here. Be right back on the Boonville Sports Network after this. It's the first baseman, Carson Beatty, out there to lead off this top of the second inning for Boonville. Still Johnson out there on the mound, as here comes the first pitch from the lefty. That one down low in the dirt, skips a foot in front of home plate and picked up by the catcher Marquez. The first lefty-on-lefty matchup we've seen here today. Beatty gets the next pitch. That one taken for strike one.
There we go.
Beatty, a slap hitter, likes to hit the single, as here comes the 1-1. Takes that one for ball two. 2 balls, 1 strikes the count now. Does like to draw the walk as well. Just getting on base has been his forte. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss on that one, out in front of that off speed. And the count all even, 2-2 now. Johnson continuing with the quick pitching as the 2-2 already on the way. Swing and a miss out in front of that one as well, and Beatty goes down swinging for out number 1. Second straight strikeout for Johnson, and that brings up Zeb Swangham. So 2 in a row, both of them swinging, and brings up the shortstop Swangham now. Swangham's been an absolute machine in the infield, starting 14 straight for this Boonville team. First pitch on the way. Takes that one high and away for ball 1. He's been on base in 13 of those 14 games with hits in the last 6. So here's the next pitch. Swung on and fouled to the backstop. 1-1 the count. Was able to get on last night against Amsterdam with a walk. 1-1 the count on him here as the next pitch on the way. That one just taken inside for ball 2. Johnson with this quick pitching, not something the Lumberjacks see all that often. It's been a lot of methodical pitchers here as the 2-1 is taken up high for ball 3. Appeal down to first to see if Swangham goes, but he did not. So it's Swangham with 2 walks in his last 4. The 3-1 is in the dirt, but swung on and fouled to the backstop. And the count full now on the University of North Carolina Asheville player. Rocking the blue helmet and blue shin guard from Asheville, as here's the payoff pitch. That one taken down low, curveball misses, and that is a 6-pitch walk right there to Swangham. First allowed on the day by Johnson, and it brings up Will Hill. Hill, one of these outfielders in a crowded outfield room that has really been fighting for playing time as of late, but is kind of ramping up with 4 starts in the last 6 games for the Lumberjacks. Here comes the first pitch on him. Takes that fastball in there for a called strike. Before those last 6 games, he had just 1 start in the last 5. Was really struggling, but now has really gotten going. Has the 0-1 on the way. Swing and a miss on that one, out in front and quickly down 0-2. Part of the reason that he wasn't in the lineup is because of the strikeouts. He had 11 in 18 games this season, but has had none in his last 3. Looking to avoid one right here. The 0-2. Swung on and fouled to the backstop, just gets a piece of it, but stays alive, and the count remains 0-2. Started off the year with the team lead for strikeouts. Now that's Elijah Negron, as Will Hill has started to just become a little bit more of a patient hitter at the plate. Gets a piece of that one to stay alive, and Johnson ready for the 0-2 yet again. Checks back on the runner, swing him, comes set, kicks and fires. Takes that one up high for ball 1. Hill nervously crouches down in anticipation of that call, but it goes his way, so 1-2 the count now. Swing him with a decent-sized lead over at first. Here's the next pitch. Swung on and hit high to the outfield. That's going to be the right fielder Lockwood underneath it, who makes the catch for out number 2. Swingham can't go anywhere with it. So stranded at first, and with 2 outs, that brings up Elijah Negron. Negron leading this team. He's got 24 strikeouts on the season and 59 at-bats. Has brought the power with those strikeouts, though, with 4 home runs. Pick back at Swingham is not in time. He's in there standing. New first base coach for the day, Brady Foxwell, making sure these runners don't get picked off. Usually my partner in the broadcast booth, but taking a turn on the coaching today. Here's the first delivery on Negron. Takes that one inside for ball 1. Fastball misses. And it is fun to be the first base coach. I can attest to that. Back on the last Utica game, that was my duty, and it was a fun one. As the next delivery taken up high for ball 2. Foxwell already got the batting gloves in the pocket. Just waiting for some batting gear now. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss on that one, out in front of it, and the count moves to 2-1. Negron has played in all of the last 10 games. He's been another one of the trusted bats for head coach Christian Griffin. 9 games hitting, 1 of them pitching as well. The 2-1 on the way as Swingham goes from first. Swing and a miss on that one, but they're going to say that's a foul ball. Marquez, the catcher, just signaled that he couldn't hold on to it, as he did make the transfer, but it slipped out of the hand. So Swingham has to go back to first. 2-2 the count now on Negron, who has struck out in 10 of his last 12 games. Has calmed it down as of late with just 1 in his last 3 contests, but down 2-2 here. The pitch. Swung on, just got a piece of it, and fouls it to the backstop. Negron stays alive, and the count 2-2 now. It's been an up-and-down season for Negron. Started the season 0 for 10. Then was the A-Town Bats Hitter of the Week. Cooled off yet again, and now is back on a hot streak, as here's the 2-2. Takes that one down low in the dirt. The catcher Marquez has to stand up to grab it. And the count all full now on Negron. Negron did draw 3 walks last game. That was his most of the year for the Lumberjacks, and he's got another 3-ball count right here. The payoff pitch from Johnson. Swung on and hit high into shallow right field. Coming in on this one is the center fielder Stark, and he is under it for the catch, so that is out number 3, and they leave Swangham stranded at first. That'll do it for the top of the second inning. Still 0-0 here at Damaski Field in Oneonta. Heading to the bottom of the second inning. We'll be right back after this. Fabio Marquez, the catcher, out here to start this bottom of the second inning for the Oneonta Outlaws. Still 0-0 here at Damaski Field. Through 3 half innings here, and no one's been able to put a runner past second base yet. And it's Marquez tasked with getting something started for the Outlaws. Still Jalen Fullwood out there on the mound. First delivery on the way. Swing and a miss on that one, out in front of the off-speed, and Marquez quickly down 0-1. In his last game against Utica back on July 8th, Marquez was 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch. Here comes the 0-1. That one hits him in the elbow, so another hit by pitch to add to the stat sheet. Marquez gets on first, and that brings up Danielle Tomei the third. It's Tomei, who comes out of the University of Mount Union. Sophomore out of Cleveland, Ohio, who stands in from the left side. Bats left, throws right. An interesting combination, especially for a second baseman. As here comes the first pitch from Fullwood. Swung on and hit into shallow left field. That one foul, however. Just a long strike right there for Tomei. 0-1 the count. Tomei hasn't played against the Boonville Lumberjacks yet in this PGCBL season. Has not featured in any of the 3 contests. This is first at bat. Here comes the 0-1. That one down low in the dirt, gets away from Bischoff, and Marquez on his way to second. There's no throw from behind the dish. And another runner in scoring position here for Oneonta. So first wild pitch of the day from Fullwood, and there's still no outs here in the bottom of the second. 1-1 the count on Danielle Tomei the third. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit high into the infield. This one leaking out of play and lands just past the mesh fence down there near third base. So 1-2 the count now. Tomei batting .229 on the season. Just 2 walks for the sophomore. Fullwood ready for the 1-2. Here it comes. Swung on and hit up the middle. This one gets through for a hit. It's to the left fielder Will Hill as Marquez is being waved home. Long throw to Bischoff is cut off as the runner Tomei goes to second base. And he's in there standing. Everyone is safe. And the Oneonta Outlaws take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning. Still no outs, and Tomei on second. That brings up Colin Penner. So just the second extra base hit of the season for Tomei, his first double. Other extra base hit was a triple, and now it's Penner. First pitch on the way from Fullwood. That one taken up high. Fastball for ball one. Penner coming into this game has just 11 hits, 7 walks for a .390 on-base percentage. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and hit to the left side. Negron's got it, looks the runner back to second, and throws over to first in time for out number 1. So Tomei has to stay put over at second. There's 1 out in the inning for the left fielder, Zachary Rao. Rao, not a Oneonta native, but is a member of the SUNY Oneonta baseball team. Originally out of Hudson, New York. As here comes the first pitch. Swing and a miss on that one, out in front of that off speed, and Fullwood quickly ahead 0-1. Here's the next pitch. That one taken inside, 1-1 the count now. Rao has played in all 3 games against Boonville, 2 of them hitting, but also 1 of them as a pitcher. That came in the last contest on July 4th, came in relief for the starting pitcher, Nolan Stark, another two-way player. Here's the 1-1, taken outside for ball 2. So Fullwood got to be careful here. Only had 1 walk in that previous appearance in Oneonta, but already with a hit-by pitch and has been getting behind in some of these counts, something to look at. Here's the 2-1. That one outside yet again, 3-1 the count now. Rao came into this game with a 185 average. Just 1 walk as well on the season. He's been struggling as of late, but ahead 3-1. The pitch swung on and fouled back and out of play. Count runs full now. In college was just a pitcher as a freshman, but hit and pitched as a sophomore over there at SUNY Oneonta. Hitting from the left side here today. The payoff pitch on the way. Swing and a miss out in front of that one, and he goes down swinging right there. Strikeout number 1 on the day for Jalen Fullwood, and it brings up Michael Camper. So finally, out number 2 here. It's still the runner Daniel Tomei out on second, and brings up the 9th hitter in this order, Michael Camper. Fullwood ready for the first pitch. Here it comes. Takes that fastball inside. 1-0 the count. It's Camper, who's only played in 3 games so far this season. Hasn't gotten a hit yet. Just 1 RBI on a sac fly and 2 walks. Here comes the 1-0. Swing and a miss on that one. Fouled off of the catcher Bischoff, and Camper has to step out for a moment. Readjusts the batting gloves and steps back in there on the left side. Camper, just a high school senior, committed to go play ball at Division I Iona. The 1-1. Down low yet again, 2-1 the count now. It's a little bit of a age difference here in this matchup. Fullwood just finished his senior year at Tennessee Wesleyan, and Camper about to start his freshman year. But it's the younger of the 2 ahead in this one. The 2-1 pitch on the way. Taken in there for a called strike. Camper steps out yet again as the count all even now, 2-2. 2 strikeouts as well to add on to those 2 walks on the season for Camper. Fullwood hunting for just his 2nd punch-out of the day. Here's the next pitch. Taken inside, Camper moves the knees out of the way to make sure he doesn't get hit by that one. And the count full now for the 2nd straight time. They need a lot of innings from Fullwood, especially with a depleted bullpen. Getting ahead in these counts is going to help him. Pitch number 6 on the way. Swing and a miss out in front of that one. And that will do it. They leave a runner stranded on second, but do plate 1. It's 1-0. Oneonta taking a lead as we go to the top of the 3rd inning. We'll be right back on the Boonville Radio Network after this. Seth Bischoff out there to start this bottom of the 3rd inning for the Lumberjacks. Backstop's first appearance of the day. Stands in from the right side. It's still Braden Johnson out there on the mound, the lefty for the Outlaws. He's been dealing through 2 innings. Here's the first pitch of his 3rd. Taken up high, fastball for ball 1 by Bischoff right there. Bischoff out of Grand Rapids Community College, a freshman from Middleville, Michigan, as he swings and misses on that next delivery. 1-1 the count. The 1-1 already on the way. Swung on and hit high right behind the pitcher's mound. This one going to get under it, and it's Tomei, the first baseman, yet again. It's his 3rd catch in foul territory of this game. And already out number 1 in the inning for the Lumberjacks, but the lineup flips over for Kanias Davis. So the ball has just been finding him, as it's Davis who singled in his first plate appearance up yet again. Here's the first delivery on the way. Taking inside off speed for strike 1. Davis's only appearance against Oneonta was the game on June 19th, as the next delivery swung on and fouled back and out of play. 0-2 the count. Had 2 at-bats, a double and a walk, as well as a hit by pitch. He's been getting on effectively all year with a .440 on-base percentage, but down 0-2 in this count. Here's the next delivery from Johnson. Takes that one low and away, and the count moves to 1-2. Fastball misses by the lefty. Johnson set. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Davis couldn't decide on that one, and goes down swinging right there late on the off speed. And that is out number 2 of the inning, and it brings up the second hitter, Devon Abaga. Strikeout number 3 on the day already by Johnson, who's been making quick work of this Boonville lineup Seems that we see it just about every time that they come here to Damaski Field. As the bats just seemingly go cold. As here's the first pitch on Ibaga. Fastball taken way up high as the catcher Marquez has to stand up on it. 1-0 the count. Here's the next pitch. Swung on and missed out in front of that one, and the count 1-1 now. Last time they were here on July 4th, it was just 3 hits in 7 innings. Ultimately, they would go on to lose that game as the next pitch is down low in the dirt. 2-1 the count. Ibaga played in that game, was 0 for 3 with the strikeout. As here's the next delivery. Swung on and fouled back and out of play yet again, and the count moves to 2-2. Did have an appearance against Oneonta as a pitcher, did Ibaga. As here's the 2-2. Swung on and popped high to the right side. Coming over on this one is Lockwood, who can't make the catch. Drops that one, but they'll say it was in foul territory. So just a long strike right there for Ibaga. Count remaining at 2-2. As it looked like Lockwood was trying to make the catch right on the foul line right there, but called a foul ball, luckily for him, and the count remains 2-2 on Ibaga. Ibaga's got 2 hits in his last 3 games, both of them for extra bases, as the 2-2 on the way. Down low in the dirt, stopped by the catcher Marquez, but the count runs full now. It's a homer and a double in his last 2, but only 2 walks in the last 9. He awaits the payoff pitch from Johnson. Here it comes. Swung on and hit to the left side. This one picked up by Johnston. Throw over is not in time as Ibaga gets under the tag from the first baseman Penner and is in there safe at first. The throw took the first baseman Penner to the left of the bag, and Ibaga just slid head first in there, and he is safe. So 1 man on with 2 outs here for Masai Marshall. They'll score that one an error on the home team. So no hit for Ibaga. Here's the first pitch on Marshall. Pick back is not in time by the pitcher Johnson. Another pick back, not in time. Ibaga dancing back and forth from first. 2 pickoffs in about 5 seconds. Gets a pretty big lead, keeps going, and here's the next pitch. Taken up high, fastball misses on Marshall. 1-0 the count. Marshall in that game last night had a 2-run homer, 2 strikeouts, and grounded into a double play. So here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss on that one, out in front of that, and the count moves to 1-1. Johnson has slowed down a little bit in that tempo as the 1-1 is on the way. Fastball taken up high, 2-1 the count. Seems like when there are no runners on, Johnson is rapid firing out there on the mound, but with Ibaga over there on first has just slowed down a little bit. He's given about 15 seconds in between deliveries, as here's the next pitch as Ibaga goes from first, fastball high and away, and the catcher Marquez had to stand up, kind of reach away for that one, and Ibaga safe. Tough throw there by Marquez, who was taken out of his natural motion to grab that ball by the pitcher Johnson. And the count moves to 3-1 with Ibaga now on second. Goes from second on this one. Ball is outside, and Ibaga out at third, stealing. So on what would have been a walk right there to Masai Marshall, ultimately Ibaga set down stealing. That's the end of the top of the 3rd inning. Ibaga goes down stealing, and that will do it. We're heading to the bottom of the 3rd, still 1-0 Oneonta here on the Boonville Radio Network. Be right back after this. It's the designated hitter and Oneonta native Bruce Mistler out here to start this bottom of the third. Here's the first pitch. Runs high and in by Fullwood, and that one 4-1. Both of the Oneonta natives, Mistler and the other player, Nolan Stark, in the starting lineup and hitting for this Oneonta team as Fullwood steps off to recollect himself. Mistler hasn't played in any of the last 6 games for the Outlaws as he checks on that one, but it's down low for ball 2. Has just 1 hit in 8 games played, a single with 8 strikeouts as the next pitch down low yet again. So 3-0 the count on the DH Mistler out of Mount St. Mary College. Here's the 3-0. That one runs high and in yet again, and a 4-pitch walk to Mistler to start the inning. That's his first of the season, and the lineup flips back over for Jack Lockwood. And we do apologize for the buzzing noise you hear in the background. That's because we are right underneath the stadium lights, so not much to do about that one, unfortunately. Lights do come on early here at Damaski Field, even though the sun is still shining. But they want to make sure they get ahead of that one. So Lockwood, the right fielder, is the next batter. Stands in from the left side. Here's the first pitch. Swung on and fouled back and out of play. 0-1 the count. It was Lockwood who flew out to left in his first plate appearance today. Hasn't played since their game against Glens Falls on July 8th. Was 0 for 3 with the walk in that one. Here's the 0-1. Taken in there for a called strike. So Fullwood quickly ahead 0-2 the count. Lockwood doesn't strike out too much, just 8 Ks in 10 games played as the pick back from Fullwood, not in time. Didn't have any in that last game against Glens Falls and has only had 1 against Boonville and 5 at-bats this season. Here comes the 0-2. Swung on and just got a piece of that one, fouls it to the backstop, and the count remains 0-2. Lockwood out of Grand Rapids Community College had a .298 batting average as a sophomore. Surprisingly had better numbers as a freshman with a .325 average and 14 more hits. The 0-2 on the way. Swung on and hit into center field. That one's going to get downhill, going to left center to grab that one in. He eventually does, but it's Mistler rounding third. He's going to try and score. The throw from Swingham, not in time, cut off by Bischoff as it's Lockwood in there with a stand-up double at second. So another RBI for him right there. The score 2-0 now. Oneonta on top of the Lumberjacks, and with a runner on second, still no outs here for Ryan Johnston. So Johnston, the shortstop, grounded out to third in that bottom of the first inning. 0 for 1 on the day. This is his first time against Boonville this season. Here's the first pitch from Fullwood. Swung on and popped high to the infield. This one ranging toward the Boonville dugout. Underneath it is Beatty, who makes the catch. As Bischoff slides under the glove, he looks the runner back at second. It's Lockwood. He can't go anywhere, and that is out number 1. A little bit of a tight play down there near the Boonville dugout as Beatty lost the hat. Bischoff lost some of his catching gear, but ultimately they call time and get redressed. So 1 out in the inning for Nolan Stark, the center fielder. Already the 4th pop-out in foul territory to a first baseman in this game, and we're still in the 3rd inning. There's something about that area of the field. Here's the first pitch on the lefty Stark. That one in there for a called strike. Stark, a UNC Wilmington commit. Still a high school senior, though, out of Oneonta, New York. 0-1 the count on him now. That one taken down low, 1-1. Stark had a single in the first inning. Would go on to steal second, but would be stranded there in that bottom of the first. Count all even on him now, 1-1. Here's the delivery from Fullwood. Checks on that one, but it's in there for a called strike regardless. 1-2 the count now. It's Stark who started that last game against Boonville here on July 4th. Won a full 7 innings. As here's the next delivery. Swung on just off the end of the bat into shallow left, but that one gets foul and out of play. Just 1 earned run from Stark in that start. 3 hits and just 2 walks. A dominant day for the lefty over Boonville. On the hitting side of this one, though, here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss out in front of that one, and goes down swinging for out number 2. It brings up the extra hitter, Caden Kraus. Kraus, another strikeout victim from that first inning, went down looking to end the bottom of the first. Here's the first pitch from Fullwood. Popped high down the first base line. Beatty looking at that one and comes right behind me. Thought that one was gonna hit me in the head as it's in the bleachers just behind me here.
You want it? Yes, please. There you go.
That one just about 5 feet out of play. And just a long strike right there for Kraus. Going to try and stick up the hand and catch that one, but it's coming in a little too hard on me. So 0-1 the count now on Kraus. Here's the pitch from Fullwood. That one hits him in the hand. A stinger right there as he bends over and clutches that lead right hand, but ultimately is awarded first base. Kraus just trying to shake it off, but runners on first and second. 2 outs here for Fabio Marquez. Alrighty, the second hit by pitch of the day by the pitcher Fullwood. That's been a concern for him in the first couple starts. Had 5 combined coming into today in just 2 previous starts, and already with 2 more in this one. So it's Marquez who led off the bottom of the second inning. Was hit by a pitch and ultimately would be batted in by a double off the bat of Daniel Tomei right after him. Stands in from the right side, awaiting the first pitch from Fullwood. Here it comes. Down low in the dirt. Count moves to 1-0. Marquez's last game played was against Utica on July 8th. Had 3 at-bats, 1 hit by pitch in the day. Already has one in this one as the 1-0 in there for a called strike. 1-1 the count on him now. Marquez with a .360 on-base percentage in just 13 games. Hasn't been used too much as a catcher. So here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Out in front of that one, and 1-2 the count now. Especially in the PGCBL, there are not a lot of teams that run back-to-back days with guys at the catcher spot. Marquez not one of them. The Lumberjacks don't do that either. But it's Marquez down 1-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit into shallow center field. This one's going to get down. Picked up and thrown in quickly by Lassiter, but coming around and scoring is the runner from third base. And caught in a pickle here is Marquez. And Swingham can't find a throw. He just lets him get back to first base as he was trying to look the runner Kraus back to third. And ultimately a missed opportunity there for Boonville. Swangham was just looking back and forth between the runners on first and third as Fullwood was covering the first bag, but ultimately couldn't find one, and instead Oneonta extend the lead. It's 3-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. So brings up Tomei, who had that RBI double in his last at-bat. It's Kraus moving over to third, and the leadoff hitter Lockwood scoring from second. Here's the first pitch from Fullwood. That one taken up high for ball one. Tomei out of the University of Mount Union, Division III school. 1-0 on the way. Swung on and hit into shallow left. This one going to get down for another single. Scoring from third is the runner Kraus. And everyone pulls up right there. It's Marquez moving to second. Tomei at first. And another RBI, the second of the day for him, takes the lead to 4-0 Oneonta. So it's the first baseman Penner who's been busy on the defensive side of things, but is 0 for 1 on the day with the ground out at the plate. Stands in from the right side with a .239 average on the year. The first pitch swung on and hit into high center field. Lassiter going back on this one, and it's going to get to the wall. That one gets down for a double as 2 runs score. Penner into second standing, and the lead continues to balloon for Oneonta. Finally getting it in is Lassiter, and that is going to be a 6-0 lead for Oneonta. They've tacked on 5 of them here in this bottom of the third inning, and the issues just continue to get worse as it's Zachary Rao at the plate now. Third straight hit surrendered by Fullwood. 5th of the inning. And 6th of the day. Fullwood, a reliever by trade. Usually is a long reliever, but has struggled in all 3 of his starts in this PGCBL summer.
Good job, you go.
Already 6 runs surrendered here in just 3 innings. Not even out of the woods yet, with Rao up 2 outs here. Here's the pitch. That one off the glove of Bischoff, and going from second to third is Penner. There will be no throw from the backstop, and another runner just keeps moving around. It's Penner on third now with 2 outs, and the count 1-0 on Zachary Rao. Rao struck out looking in his first plate appearance today. Stands in from the left side. The next pitch is a curveball missing outside. 2-0 the count. Still no movement in the Boonville bullpen, as that next delivery of fastball that misses yet again from Fullwood, so 3-0 the count now. And Boonville, in the midst of this 10-game losing streak, have really struggled, as the 3-0 in there for a called strike. Whereas before it was usually either the batting or the hitting, it's usually been both during this last 10-game streak. Here's the 3-1. Swung on and popped high to the left side. Negron looks up, and that one will get out of play. So the count runs full now. It's Fullwood facing his 3rd full count pitch here in this inning. Pitch count certainly being ran up here. Here comes the full count pitch. Swung on and popped out of play yet again, this time on the left side. So the count remains 3-2 on the SUNY Oneonta hitter. Rao has played in 2 previous games against Boonville with the double, an RBI, and a walk. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and hit to the right side. Ibaga converging on it, but it's Swangham picking it up, throwing over to first, not in time. Rao is safe over at first, and another run scores from third. It's Penner touching home, and the lead 7-0 now, Oneonta on top. That one scored a hit, the 4th in a row for this Oneonta lineup and 7th allowed on the day by Fullwood. And now it's Michael Camper. We're getting close to batting around. It's the man on deck, Bruce Missler, who started this inning as the first pitch hit foul down the right side. That one, strike one on Camper. And with a depleted bullpen, Boonville got to be careful here. Just trying to get as much as they can out of Fullwood. As here comes the 0-1. Down low in the dirt, off speed, misses, 1-1 the count now. Camper, a member of the New Jersey Rising Rebels. That's where he plays his travel ball. Still in high school is the 6'2 lefty. So here comes the 1-1. That one inside on him, moves the knees out of the way, and the count 2-1 now. Camper, also a pitcher, had an infinite ERA appearance against Mohawk Valley with 7 earned runs, 2 hits, didn't record an out. The 2-1 on the way. Down low in the dirt, 3-1 the count now. This just his 3rd game played, his 2nd as a hitter. Only 4 at-bats. He's 0 for 4 with 1 sac fly, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. Here's the first pitch. Swung on and hit back and out of play yet again. So the count remains full on Camper. Camper, who struck out in his first plate appearance today, swinging. Just one of 2 strikeout victims of Fullwood. As here comes the 3-2, runner goes from first, and that ball way up high on Camper. Doesn't even think about swinging, and the Oneonta Outlaws have batted around in this inning. It's the man who led it off, Brad Missler, back up there. So it's 6 straight who have been allowed on by the pitcher Fullwood. Was able to get the first 2 outs and then has allowed 4 runs since then. So it's Camper on first, Rao on second as the first delivery in there for a strike on Bruce Missler. Freshman out of Mount St. Mary's College, Division I MAAC school. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss on that one. Curveball down low from Fullwood got him, and the count quickly 0-2 as the infield retreats back. Originally playing in, now almost on the outfield grass, as here comes the 0-2. Down low yet again. 1-2 the count now. Missler hasn't played in any of the last 6 games. His first start since June 29th, as here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss out in front of that one, and Fullwood finally puts him down to end the inning, but not before the Outlaws put 6 up on the board. It's 7-0 heading into this top of the 4th inning. We'll be right back on the Boonville Radio Network after this. Wyatt Lassiter out here tasked with starting something up for the Boonville Lumberjacks, down 7-0 here in the top of the 4th inning. It's Lassiter who popped out in his first at-bat, who stands in there now. First pitch on him is down low, nearly hits him in the foot, but he moves out of the way, and the count 1-0 now. Lassiter out of the University of Mount Olive, as here's the next pitch. Fastball taken outside for ball 2. Had just a 179 average in 19 games played at Mount Olive. As the 2-0 is swung on and hit high into right field. Back on this one is Lockwood. He's at the wall and he makes the catch with just a few feet to spare. Hard hit ball right there for Wyatt Lassiter, but ultimately out number 1. And that brings up the extra hitter, Michael Clarkson. So Clarkson, who struck out swinging in his first plate appearance, one of 2 strikeout victims from the pitcher Johnson, who's still out there. First pitch on him is in there for a called strike. With no runners on, Johnson is back to the quick pitch tempo. As here's the next one. Fastball taken up high, 1-1 the count now. It's Clarkson, the all-star DH from the Eastern Division of the PGCBL. 1-1 is taken up high. 2-1 the count now. Hasn't hit since July 8th against Glens Falls as the 2-1 on the way. Taken up high yet again, 3-1 the count now. Had 2 at-bats, 2 strikeouts, but also did draw the walk and was hit by pitch twice. It's been productive getting on base, as here's the 3-1. Taken outside, and he draws the walk right there, so Clarkson on for the first time today, and it brings up the shortstop, Zeb Swingham. It's going to be Carson Beatty, just the second walk surrendered on the day by Braden Johnson. Across 4 innings of work. Here's the first pitch. Taken inside right there by Beatty. And time going to be called by the catcher Marquez after 5 straight balls by the lefty Johnson. Going to go out there and talk things over. It was Beatty who struck out in his first plate appearance to lead off the top of the 2nd inning. At just his 3rd strikeout in the last 4 games. Didn't have any in his last 2 games coming into tonight, but ultimately did go down swinging there. He's finally starting to ramp up playing time with Argenis Lopez gone. Started in all of the last 6 games and has really become the everyday first baseman for this team. 1-0 the count on him here. The pitch from Johnson. Swung on and hit to the right side. That one going to be picked up by the second baseman over to 1 for 2, but no throw back to first for the double play. So got the leadoff runner Clarkson right there, but Beatty on with the fielder's choice, and it brings up Zeb Swingham. So 2 outs already in the inning, just the runner Beatty on first, and brings up the shortstop who walked in his first plate appearance today. Here's the pitch. Taken down low, fastball misses for ball 1. Swingham is another guy that is starting a lot of games as of late with 15 straight. Here's the next pitch. Fastball taken inside, 2-0 the count. The count now on the hitter Swingham. Here's the pitch from the lefty Johnson. Taken up high, 3-0 the count now. And now all of a sudden Johnson on the verge of walking back-to-back hitters. Here's the 3-0. Down low and a 4-pitch walk right there to Swingham, so maybe some concern here on the control of Johnson, as Boonville have runners on first and second for Will Hill.
that's a really good lead, actually.
So third walk surrendered on the day by Braden Johnson brings up Will Hill, who skied a ball to right field and was out for his first plate appearance. Swings and misses on that first delivery and off speed down low, and the count 0-1 now. Hill played at the University of Texas last year, ultimately would redshirt, not gotten an at-bat, and is now transferring to Wharton County Junior College. Going to play with the Pioneers for his redshirt freshman year. First coming to Boonville, though, just to get some at-bats and get into the flow of things. Came into today with a .211 average and 12 hits, one of them being a long ball. 0-1 the count on him now. Here's the pitch. Takes that one up high, 1-1 the count. Johnson has really struggled in this inning with command, especially after getting the first 2 outs. Surrendered a hard hit ball to Beatty and then a walk to Swangham as the next pitch down low in the dirt yet again. 2-1 the count. Still some movement in the Oneonta bullpen and the Boonville bullpen. Looks like both teams getting people ready for this next inning of work. Johnson, here's the 2-1. Down low yet again, and 3-1 the count now on Will Hill. Johnson's got to be careful or else he's going to walk the bases loaded with Elijah Negron, the power-hitting third baseman, up next. Here's the 3-1. Swung on and fouled backhand out of play just over the netting down above the Boonville dugout, and the count runs full on Hill now. We'll see if Johnson can make it through this inning. Looks like it will be his last, even if he can, as there are multiple Outlaws throwing in the bullpen. Still got to get through Will Hill, though. Here comes the payoff pitch. Taken just up high for ball 4, and he does indeed walk the bases loaded. Oneonta manager going to come out here, looks at his bullpen, and gives the all-good sign. So that looks to be the day for Braden Johnson. We'll get confirmation in a minute here, but it's bases loaded with Will Hill on first, Zeb Swangham on second, and Carson Beatty on third. The batter now is Elijah Negron, who's been on a tear as of late, and that will indeed be the day for Braden Johnson. New man coming out of the pen for the Outlaws after this short break. There's 2 outs, bases loaded in the top of the 4th inning. We'll be right back on the Boonville Radio Network after this. So it's Colby Lintel, the right-hander out of the Oneonta bullpen, tasked with shutting down the Lumberjacks in a bases-loaded situation. Comes into the game with just 1 previous appearance. It was a long relief appearance for the right-hander. Had 3.1 innings pitched with no earned runs, only allowed 3 hits and no walks with 4 strikeouts on the year. So the Lumberjacks face a tall task right here on the pitcher. It's going to be the third baseman Elijah Negron at the plate, who's going to have the bases loaded opportunity for this team. So far today, Negron flew out to center field. Was a deep one, and if he can get one out of the ballpark here, it would be crucial for the Lumberjacks, down 7 runs here in this top of the 4th inning, and really just need anything to get going. So Negron stands in on the right side, awaiting the pitch from Lintel. Doesn't check back on any of the runners. Here it comes. Checks on that one, but it's a fastball down low. 1-0 the count. Negron, a sophomore out of Peekskill, New York, just finished up his freshman year down at University of Maryland East Shore. Here's the next pitch. Checks on that one again. This time it's in there for a called strike, and the count moves to 1-1. Coming into the day, the third baseman has a .220 average with 13 hits, 5 of them for extra bases. Here comes the 1-1. Taken up high. 2-1 the count now as the fastball misses. Negron was the first and only A-Town Bats hitter of the week during the first week of the season, with 5 hits and 3 homers in 10 at-bats. Ahead 2-1 here. The pitch from Lintel. Swung on and popped high. This one into right field. Ranging into foul territory is Lockwood, but that one just a little bit too far out of his reach. Bounces in the dirt right to the left of the Lumberjack bullpen, where it's Colin Glenn warming up, and the count instead moves to 2-2. Negron stays alive. That really could have been caught right there by Lockwood, but just too far into foul territory. So a new lease on life. Negron with the bases loaded, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Here comes the pitch. Taken up high yet again, and the count runs full now on Negron. It's got to be careful, or else Lintel is going to walk in a run right here. Hasn't surrendered a walk so far in his only appearance in the PGCBL this summer, but on the verge of one right here. The 3-2. As the runners go, that one down low, and that is ball 4. Boonville finally get on the board. It's Elijah Negron with a bases-loaded walk. It's 1-7 here as Boonville crawl a little bit closer, and up comes the catcher, Seth Bischoff. Third walk in a row surrendered by this Oneonta team, 4th of the inning, and the first right there by Lintel. Made him work for it, though, as the count ran full. But the first RBI of the day for any Lumberjack. So in comes Bischoff. First pitch on him is fouled to the backstop. 0-1 the count. Bischoff popped up in foul territory to the first baseman, Penner, the first time up. Needs to do something so Boonville can get back into this game. It's an 0-1 count on him. Here's the pitch from Lintel. Takes that one in there for a called strike, and quickly down 0-2. So it's Bischoff, who has struck out in every game played against the Oneonta Outlaws so far this season. Hasn't gone down on strikes yet in this one, but down 0-2. Lintel comes set. Here's the pitch. Swung on, just got a piece of it, and fouls it to the backstop. So Bischoff stays alive, 0-2 the count now. Not a bad position for Seth Bischoff, who's been clutch in previous moments. Broke up a no-hitter in the 7th inning with the single against Utica on July 8th. Ultimately, that game would only go 7 innings. Here comes the next pitch. Swung on and hit to the left side. This one picked up by the shortstop. Throw over to first is in time, and Johnston gets him for out number 3. Boonville leave him stranded, but do plate 1. It's 7-1 here, heading into the bottom of the 4th inning. We'll be right back on the Boonville Radio Network after this. Jalen Fullwood is done. 3 innings of work for the right-hander with 7 hits and 7 earned runs. 1 walk and 2 strikeouts for the Tennessee Wesleyan product, but it's Colin Glenn out there on the mound now. Coming into this game, Glenn has pitched in 7 total appearances with a 28.29 ERA, 22 runs, 22 of them earned, along with 10 hits and 19 walks and 4 strikeouts in 7 innings of work. Glenn has struggled so far this summer, but has found a little bit of form as of late, keeping some scoreless innings and ultimately just eating up innings for this team when they've needed it. He'll have to do that here against the top of the order for the Oneonta Outlaws. It's Jack Lockwood, Ryan Johnston, and Nolan Stark, the 1-2-3 hitters, due up in this inning. And maybe more behind that if it gets that far. Hopefully not. It was Colin Glenn's last appearance, and he ultimately, against Glens Falls, kept 1 scoreless inning. He'd come out for a second and let in some runs, but ultimately CG told us that the scoreless inning is what he wanted to focus on there. It was Glenn who really struggled to throw strikes at the beginning of the season, would just walk in batters. That's where most of his 19 walks came from, and he's been improving slowly but surely as of late. Hopefully the best to come for Colin Glenn. And up here to face Jack Lockwood. Not an easy assignment for his first hitter. Lockwood flew out to left in his first AB and doubled in his second. Stands in from the left side now, righty versus lefty matchup. The right-hander Glenn stares him down. Here comes the first pitch. That one skips in the dirt. Ultimately couldn't be handled by the catcher Bischoff, and that one 4-1. Lockwood out of Grand Rapids Community College. Sophomore from Rockwood, Michigan. Here's the 1-0 from Glenn. Swung on and hit high, right behind the catcher's mound, but that one gets out of play. Bischoff didn't even stand up for that one, and the count moves to 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Taken up high for ball 2. So 2-1 the count now on Lockwood. Hasn't played since July 7th against Glens Falls. Was 0 for 3 with a walk in that performance. Here comes the next pitch from Glenn. Swung on and hit to the right side, picked up by Abaga, but he loses it. It goes under the glove, and Lockwood safe at first. An error right there on the second baseman, Abaga. That's been an issue for him as of late. And a runner on first with no outs here for the shortstop, Ryan Johnston. In that Utica game, it was Abaga who was playing it short in that one. Had a couple errors that led to 3 runs being scored by Utica, and ultimately they would be the difference as Boonville went down 4-2 in that one. So here's the first pitch on the shortstop, Johnston. Takes that one inside for ball 1. Fastball misses. Johnston, a freshman out of Seton Hall, originally from Trumbull, Connecticut. Just a 182 average this summer, and 0 for 2 on the day. Here's the next delivery. Runner goes from first, that one up high for ball 2, and the throw in the dirt from Bischoff. The runner safe as Abaga couldn't hold on to it, and a stolen base right there for Jack Lockwood. So another runner in scoring possession for these Oneonta Outlaws. Still no outs here for Johnston. Glenn ready for the 1-1. Here's the pitch. Taken up high for ball 2. Johnston with a ground out and a pop out to foul territory. It was Carson Beatty who ultimately would snag that one. Here's the 3-0. Glenn steps off to look back at the runner Lockwood, who jots back to second base. Glenn ready for the 3-0 yet again, looks back at the runner, and here's the pitch. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Swinging 3-0 on that one was Ryan Johnston, but misses. And the count 3-1 now. Johnston does struggle with the strikeout. He's got 13 so far in this PGCBL season. 3-1 the count on him here. The pitch. Swing and a miss again. Same spot for Glenn. Down low gets him swinging and missing, and the count full now. So a nice way to battle back here from Colin Glenn, who was down 3-0 and now has got the count full. Gets the sign from his catcher Bischoff. Here comes the payoff pitch. That one taken outside. Fastball misses on the outer part of the plate, and Colin Glenn walks him. So runners on first and second. Still no outs here for Nolan Stark. Just the first walk allowed on the day by Colin Glenn. It was an error that Lockwood reached on from the second baseman Ibaga, and then a walk to Johnston here. Brings up the third hitter in this lineup, Nolan Stark, as Bischoff comes out to have a conversation with Glenn. So they wrap up the discussion out there on the mound. It's Stark up now, who's 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout so far today. Stands in on the left side, UNC Wilmington commit. Awaits the first pitch from Glenn. Here it comes. Fastball taken up high. It gets away from Bischoff, but not too far in front of the home plate down there. So Bischoff picks it up and throws it back. 1-0 the count. Stark, one of 2 Oneonta natives, both of them in the starting lineup here tonight, and both of them have reached base safely. Here's the next pitch as both runners go. Throw is to third by Bischoff. It's in the dirt and not in time. Negron scoops it and doesn't allow it to get any further, but both runners move up. Johnston to second, Lockwood to third, and now 2 runners in scoring position. No outs here for Nolan Stark. Stark is who you want up if you're the Outlaws. .333 average on the year. Leads the team in RBIs with 13. Here comes the 1-0. Swung on and hit high into right field. Lassiter looks up at this one, and it is gone! Nolan Stark with a 3-run blast here in the top of the 5th inning. And that extends this Oneonta lead to 10-1. His 3rd long ball of the year and 16th RBI. And it goes from bad to worse for Boonville. Colin Glenn tagged with all 3 of those earned runs. Still has failed to record an out in this one. And it brings up the extra hitter, Caden Kraus. Kraus so far today struck out looking and was hit by a pitch. Came into the game with just under a .500 on base percentage and has kept that up. Most of them walks, only 5 hits and 8 walks on the season. Here's the first pitch. That one on the lower half of the zone, taken for strike 1. The mercy rule has been a bit of an issue for the Lumberjacks as of late, with mercies to Glens Falls, Utica, and Amsterdam as the 0-1 on the way. Checks on that one, but it's in there for a called strike. 0-2 the count now on Kraus. Of course, the rule in the PGCBL is 10 runs as a lead in anything past the 7th inning. So still some more guaranteed baseball to play here, only in the bottom of the 4th. But just something to keep an eye on. Glenn's got Kraus down 0-2 here. He struck out 8 times on the year, looking to avoid number 9. Here's the pitch. That one above the head as Kraus has to duck out of the way of it. Fastball just misses by Glenn right there, and the count 1-1. That hit by pitch by Kraus, his first of the season. As here's the 1-2. Just gets a piece of it, fouls it to the backstop, and stays alive. 1-2 the count. No movement in either bullpen at the moment. Oneonta and Boonville staying put where they are. Already 8 hits on the day in 4 innings by the Outlaws and a lengthy 10-1 lead. Here's the 1-2 on Kraus. Fouled back and out of play yet again. Kraus continues to stay alive. Standing in from the right side. Hasn't been able to get a hit yet today. As Glenn hunting for that first strikeout. Here's the pitch. Down low, skips off of home plate and gets away from the catcher Bischoff. So the count moves to 2-2 now. Boonville defense playing back on the outfield here. Anticipating a hit ball from Kraus. Here comes the 1-2 for the 3rd time. That one taken up high. Kraus has to just lunge out of the way. And the count all even now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 8 games played for Kraus so far this season. All of them starts. And 21 at-bats to show for them. Already his 3rd in this game in the 4th inning. As here's the 2-2. Swung on in, hit to the left side, picked up by Swangham, but it eats him up. Bounces off of the glove, and that's going to be another error on the Boonville Lumberjacks. Already the 2nd of the inning as Kraus reaches right there. So it's errors on the shortstop, Swangham, and the second baseman, Abaga. Still no outs with a runner on first for the catcher, Fabio Marquez. Really just frustrating for the Lumberjacks. The errors haven't been so bad at home. Mainly that's because they can go out there and take a ton of grounders before the game starts. As here's the first pitch on Marquez. Taken up high, fastball for ball 1. But here in these away games, they have really struggled. Namely the Utica game a couple days ago. And now 2 in the inning here in this one. Here's the 1-0 by Glenn. Taken up high yet again. 2-0 the count now on Marquez. So far today, the backstop was hit by a pitch and singled. Has reached base both times. Colin Glenn could use an out right here. He's already faced 4 batters. And hasn't been able to set any of them down. Here's the 2-0. That one finally in there. Curveball for a called strike. 2-1 the count now. Marquez's last game was the Utica game on July 8th. Had 1 hit by pitch and 3 at-bats. Nothing other than that. 2-1 on the way by Glenn. Swing and a miss on that one. Blew the heater by him. And the count all even now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A .256 average on the season for the backstop. 11 hits, with none of them against Boonville. Here comes the 2-2 delivery. Swings on that one and fouls it back behind the plate, so the count remains at 2-2 now. Just 8 strikeouts in 13 games played for Marquez so far this season. 5 walks as well. It's been a relatively patient hitter. As here comes the 2-2 from Glenn. Continues to be patient, watches that fastball go way up high, and the count all full now. So Glenn, with the depleted bullpen, has come in and thrown a lot of pitches here, especially considering he hasn't gotten an out yet. Full count looming on Marquez. Here comes the pitch. Down low yet again, Glenn walks him. Already the 3rd allowed of the day by the right-hander. And runners on first and second. Still no outs for Danielle Tomei. So it's Caden Krause on second, who reached on an error by the shortstop Swangam. Then it's Fabio Marquez, who just walked over on first. No outs for the second baseman, Tomei. Stands in from the left side, awaiting the first delivery from Glenn. He finally gets the sign from Bischoff, and here's the pitch. That one up high goes off the glove of Bischoff, and both runners will advance. Krause going to third, Marquez to second. So 2 more runners in scoring position here for Danielle Tomei. It's Tomei who singled in his first plate appearance, doubled in the second. Looking to add on to his already 2 RBI on the day. Here's the pitch. Down low. Glenn misses with that fastball, and the count 2-0 now. Tomei over at the University of Mount Union was a All-AOC first team and a 3rd team All-American selection. A second on his team with 74 hits, as here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss on that one. Foul tip, says the home plate umpire, and the count moves to 2-1. Hasn't been as good as he was at the collegiate level here in Oneonta, though. .229 average with no home runs. Here's the next pitch. Takes that one down low. 3-1 the count now on Tomei. Tomei hasn't played in any of the Boonville games so far in this year. This is the first time he's faced off against the Lumberjacks. Glenn's got to be careful, or else he'll walk the bases loaded right here. 3-1 the count. Here's the pitch. That one down low gets away from Bischoff, and breaking for home is Krause. He's going to be in there standing as the runner Marquez goes to third. And it's going to be Danielle Tomei over on first. Runners on the corners, still no outs here in this bottom of the 4th inning. Already 4 runs plated by the Oneonta Outlaws. And number 4 right there makes it 11-1. They've got that 10-run differential that they need. Still no outs for Colin Penner. So it's Penner who doubled in his last plate appearance, walked in the first one. Awaits the pitch from the right side. Here it comes from Glenn. That one down low, fastball misses, 1-0 the count. Penner came into this game with 10 RBIs on the season, a .239 batting average. Just about league average numbers from the first baseman. Here's the pitch. Takes that one inside for strike 1. Fastball clips the inside part of the zone, and the count moves to 1-1. Colin Glenn, who entered this game with a 28 ERA, was trying to calm it down, but has allowed 4 runs, no outs. Here's the next pitch, swung on and hit to the left side. That one picked up by Negron. Throw over to first is in time. They get the runner at second, but the first baseman, Carson Beatty, drawn off the bag by the throw of Devon Abaga. So finally, Colin Glenn gets his first out here in this inning, but another run scores. It's Kraus coming in from third, ballooning that lead to 12-1. Oneonta on top, and it brings up Zachary Rao with a runner on first. The first pitch, taken way up high. Bischoff stands up and has to jump to grab that fastball, but luckily does. The runners can't go anywhere, as it's now just Penner out there on first. Want to know the count on the lefty outfielder. Here comes the next delivery. That one off speed, taken down low. 2-0 the count now. It's Rao, who's 1 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a single. Here's the 1-0. That one taken up high yet again. 3 balls, no strikes. The count now on Rao. Colin Glenn in danger of walking what would be his 3rd batter in a row and 4th already in the inning. Gotta be careful not to do so on Rao, who's got 13 walks on the year. This one down low in the dirt, and he walked him right there. So 14 walks on the season, as it's Colton Penner moving over to second. Zachary Rao on first, and just 1 out in the inning for Michael Camper. So 4 straight walks from Glenn, still no meeting at the mound from head coach Christian Griffin, with the score 12-1 here in this bottom of the 4th inning. Offense has been cold for the Lumberjacks, just 1 hit. Fielding has been cold with 2 errors, and the pitching has been abysmal with 12 earned runs already in this game.
Hey, you got next inning, but you can still.
Here's the first pitch on Camper. Fastball taken up high. Bischoff has to stand up for that one again. So 1-0 the count on the extra hitter. So far today has struck out and walked, like most of these Oneonta hitters. Here's the next pitch. That one just outside. 2-0 the count now. And Glenn really struggling to just put strikes in the zone. Certainly hasn't been his strong suit so far this year, but coming off some strong performances, there were hopes he could do better. Hasn't really shown it today. Here's the 2-0. That one, a fastball missing outside on Camper, who doesn't even look like he's really thinking about swinging. 3-0 the count now on the Iona commit. Camper's failed to get a hit so far this season, does have 3 walks, including 1 in the 3rd inning. Here's the 3-0. Swing and a miss on that one, out in front of the off speed. It's the 2nd time that Oneonta hitters have swung 3-0, and the 2nd time that they have missed. So Glenn generates the strike right there. It's a 3-1 count now for Camper. Here's the pitch. That one taken outside, and a 5-pitch walk right there for Glenn. Already his 5th on the day, and it brings up the man who started this inning, Bruce Mistler. So bases loaded yet again for Oneonta. Just 1 out here in this bottom of the 4th. Finally a meeting on the mound with the catcher Seth Bischoff and the third baseman Elijah Negron. Glenn just looking up at the scoreboard, trying to regain some composure here. So it's Camper on first, Rao on third, Penner on second, all of whom have walked here in this inning. Just one out for Mistler. Here's the pitch, swung on and hit to the left side, but that one down the line and foul. 0-1 the count on the designated hitter. Mistler with the strikeout and a walk. That was his first walk of the season in that third inning. And 9th K. Here's the next pitch. That one inside. Mistler moves out of the way, and the count now all even, 1-1.
Spread the good word. I got you. Spread the gospel.
1-1 the count on Mistler, who hasn't played in his last 6 games. Here's the next pitch. Swung on and fouled to the backstop. Mistler just got a piece of that one and is down 1-2 here. Colin Glenn has only generated 1 out in this inning. It came off of a fielder's choice on Colin Penner earlier on in this inning. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Out in front of that one, Colin Glenn gets him, and Bruce Mistler goes down on strikes for the second time in a row. That's the second out of the inning, but the lineup flips back over. It's Jack Lockwood. Second in a row swinging there for Mistler as well. All of the strikeouts so far by Oneonta hitters have been swinging. And it brings up Lockwood, who is 1 for 3 on the day. That first pitch up high, a fastball that misses from Glenn. It's Lockwood who flew out to start the game, but then doubled and reached on an error by the second baseman Devon Ibaga earlier on in this inning. Here's the next pitch. Swung on and popped down the third base line, but that one caroming out of play and foul. Hits off the bleachers, and the count moves to 1-1. Lockwood's only previous game against the Lumberjacks was the first game played. Had 5 at-bats, 1 strikeout, 3 groundouts, and a flyout. Has only put the ball in the air so far today, as here's the 1-1. That one taken up high. Bischoff stands up to grab it, and the count moves to 2-1. Looks to be Jonathan Tetzloff coming out of the bullpen, who's been injured for over a month now, but is going to have to come in this game. Here's the 2-1 on Glenn. Swung on and popped high to the infield. Underneath this one is Negron. He squeezes it for out number 3, and the nightmare inning finally comes to an end for Boonville, but not before Oneonta tack 5 more runs up on the board. It's 12-1 heading into the top of the 5th inning. We'll be right back on the Boonville Radio Network after this. 12-1 the score here as Colby Linter still out there on the mound for the Oneonta Outlaws. Out there to face the first hitter of this inning. It's the leadoff man, Kanias Davis. Here's the first pitch. Fastball taken in there for a called strike. Just one hit on the day for this Boonville lineup. It was a leadoff single by Davis to start the game. And since that, it has only been outs, a couple walks and hit by pitches as this one grounded right back to the pitcher. Underhand toss over to Penner is in time, and he gets Davis for out number 1. So the struggles continue for this Boonville lineup. It's Lintel who has come out and got one out in that last inning, and now this first out in this inning. Up next is Devon Abaga, the second baseman. Here's the first pitch, taken up high, fastball for ball 1. Abaga 0 for 2 on the day. 2 flyouts represent his contributions. Came into the day batting 188 on the season. Here comes the 1-0. Swing and a miss on that one, down low in the dirt, and the count moves to 1-1 now. 328 on base percentage for Abaga, who does have 9 walks to go along with his 9 hits, as the catcher Marquez looks like there's an issue with his hand. Looks like maybe something happened on that last pitch. It was not a foul ball by Abaga. Was a swing and a miss, but something happened with Marquez. He will stay in this game as the umpire will dust off home plate just to give him some more time. So 1-1 the count now on Abaga. Here comes the pitch from Lintel. Swing and a miss on that one, out in front of the off-speed yet again, and Abaga quickly in danger of his first strikeout of the day. Does have 17 on the year in 17 games as a hitter. Here comes the 1-2. Taken up high, fastball misses, and the count all even now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lintel set. Here's the delivery. Checks on that one, but it's down low in the dirt. He did not go, and the count runs full. So far against Oneonta, Abaga's hit once, was 0 for 3 in the second time that these two teams played with a strikeout, but also pitched twice with 4 innings and 3 earned runs against the Outlaws. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and hit to the left side. That one is getting to the shortstop, but Abaga beats out the throw. It's behind to the first baseman. Abaga's going to gun for second. Throw by the catcher Marquez is not in time. Abaga in there safely. They're marking that an error out there on the scoreboard. And Abaga finally some traffic out there on the base paths. Not exactly how they drew it up with the shortstop Johnston throwing that ball into the dirt, but Abaga will take it. With 1 out, he's on second base and brings up the designated hitter, Masai Marshall. So E6 flashed up on the scoreboard, but Abaga won't mind it. Here's the first pitch on Marshall. Fastball taken outside for ball 1. Marshall so far today 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch. Grounded out to end that top of the 3rd inning.
Better location.
Here's the next delivery from Lintel. Takes that one down low. Another fastball misses, and 2-0 the count now. Marshall played in the Oneonta game against them on June 19th. Had 2 hits and 3 at-bats, including a double and triple. 2 RBIs and a walk. Here's the 2-0. Taken up high, fastball misses again, and Masai Marshall ahead 3-0 here. Already on once today with the hit by pitch. Would love to get on again as he's reached base safely in 12 of his 16 games played this year, including a 2-run homer last night. Here's the 3-0. Down low in the dirt, and Marshall draws the 4-pitch walk. That one gets away from Marquez, but Abaga stays put at second. So runners on first and second now for the next man up. It's the right fielder, Wyatt Lassiter. So it's Lassiter who has 2 flyouts, one to right field and one a pop-up to the first baseman. Came into the day with 11 at-bats against Oneonta, 3 hits with 2 of them being doubles. Awaits the first pitch from Lintel on the right side. He's set, kicks and fires. Swung on and popped up right behind the catcher, but this one gets out of play. It's off of the bleachers behind the Oneonta dugout, and the count 0-1 on Lassiter. University of Mount Olive product who hit just 179 in college. Didn't start any of the last 8 games of the season that he appeared in, all substitutions, but has come out and led this Lumberjack team in hits this summer with 16. Here comes the 0-1. Swung on and popped to the infield. This one is going to sit, but it's an infield fly rule either way. Making the catch is the second baseman, Tomei, and that is out number 2. So it brings up the extra hitter, Michael Clarkson. Fifth batter of the inning is Clarkson, who is 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. Awaits the first delivery from Lintel. Here it comes. Checks on that one, but it's on the outside corner for a strike regardless. 0-1 the count. The All-Star DH played his last game on July 8th against Glens Falls. Had 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, but a walk and 2 hit by pitches as well. Here's the 0-1. That one on the outside corner as well. Same spot, the fastball in there for Lintel, and the count quickly 0-2. 1 strikeout swinging in the first inning for Clarkson. Would like to avoid another one right here with runners on first and second. Lintel ready for the 0-2. Here it comes. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Clarkson fooled by that off speed and goes down on 3 pitches to end the top of the 5th inning. That's going to do it for the Lumberjacks as it's 12-1. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th with Jonathan Tetzloff taking the mound. We'll have that for you on the other side of the break right here on the Lumberjack Radio Network. So Jonathan Tetzlaff out there on the mound for the Lumberjacks. His first appearance since all the way back on June 9th against Utica. Had 5 runs, none of them earned in 1 2/3 innings pitched in that one, but ultimately was sidelined with a shoulder injury and is now back to action out here against Utica. We know it took him a lot of rehab to get here, so very happy to see him out there on the mound as the right-hander ready. Here's the delivery. Swing and a miss on that one. It's the first batter up in this inning, the shortstop Johnston. So far 0 for 2 with a walk. Stands in from the right side as here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss on that one. And Tetzlaff quickly ahead 0-2. Came into the day with a 7.11 ERA, 10 earned runs. Most of those from a grand slam allowed against the Oneonta Outlaws. That was all the way back in May at Hanson Aggregates Field. Tagged for 5 earned runs in that loss. So here's the 0-2. Down low. This one has to be covered up by Bischoff, who reaches as far as he can to get it. And the count moves to 1-2. Here's the next pitch. Swung on and hit to the left side. This one can't be picked up by Negron, and that a fair ball, but the batter holding his right shoulder and down in pain on first base. Not quite sure what happened right there, but he looks to be in some serious pain and can't even stand at the moment. It's Ryan Johnston, the shortstop, and is still down holding that right arm. Taking a knee on top of first base. Slams the helmet down in frustration. And this one does not look to be good for him. Still jogged that one out, though. Got down the third base line as that ball escaped under the glove of Negron, but ultimately Johnston in too much pain to run any further than that. And it looks like he's going to be pulled from this game. Trying to feel out that upper shoulder area as both coaches and the physical trainer over there examining the arm of the Seton Hall freshman. Only had 1 at-bat at the college level. Was a strikeout, but has been slowly but surely improving in the PGCBL. Has a .325 on-base percentage with 6 hits and 5 walks, as they're going to pull him from this game. Claps from the Oneonta fans as he exits, but ultimately a disappointing one, as that does not look to be good. Can't move that shoulder as he walks back to the Oneonta dugout. And hope he is all right. It's going to be Blake Fortunato replacing him, the shortstop by trade. He's the one that hit the grand slam off of Jonathan Tetzlaff in that first time that these two teams faced off, and will pinch run for him starting on first base. So it's Fortunato out there on first. No outs here for Nolan Stark, the center fielder out there now. A little bit more of a somber attitude now here in Oneonta, now that Johnston has gone down. First delivery by Tetzlaff is just outside for ball 1. Stark so far today is 2 for 3. Had that 3-run shot in the 4th inning, as well as a single and a strikeout swinging. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and hit high into center field. Back on this one is Davis. He looks up and it is off the wall. Picks it up as 1 run scores from third. He's hustling around to third. Stark is in there safe as the ball bounces away from Negron. It's the pinch runner Blake Fortunato in there safe at home as well, and a 1 RBI triple right there for Nolan Stark. He extends the lead to 13-1. So this game quickly getting out of hand for Boonville as it's still the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's the first pitch on the next batter, Caden Krause, as that one bounces away from Bischoff, but not far enough. That Stark can score. Tetzloff probably going to pitch for the rest of this game. Not sure with any innings restrictions, as that next pitch, a off speed in the dirt, 1-1 the count. Here's the next one. Swung on. No, he did not go on that one, and the count moves to 2-1. Stark, a UNC Wilmington commit, a high school senior from right here in Oneonta, as the next one on the way. That one down low in the dirt, and he walked him. Looks like the count was wrong up on the scoreboard there, so that ball 4 on Stark. Tetzloff's got a man on first and third now for the next man up, the catcher, Fabio Marquez. So Krause is on for the 3rd straight time at the plate, and it brings up the catcher Marquez. Here's the first pitch from Tetzloff. Swing and a miss on that one, out in front of the off speed. And Marquez quickly down 0-1. So far today, Marquez has been hit by a pitch, walked and singled, been on at all 3 of his plate appearances. 0-1 on the way by Tetzloff. That one down low in the dirt, 1-1 the count. Coming into this game, Marquez had 11 hits, 3 of them for extra bases, but no home runs. Here's the next delivery. Down low in the dirt, Bischoff blocks it with the glove, but the count moves to 2 balls, 1 strike. 3 RBIs as well for Marquez heading into this game. Hasn't been able to find one yet, but has scored a run 3 times. Here comes the next pitch. Taken outside for ball 3, so 3-1 the count. Tetzloff, talked to him a little bit before the game, and I know he's just happy to be out there pitching. Looks to be having fun. Here's the 3-1. Hit on into shallow center field. Coming on this one is Davis, who makes the underhanded catch, but coming in, tagging and scoring is the runner from third, Fortunato. So that extends the lead 14-1. Oneonta on top as Marquez sacrifices one in. Still just 1 out here for Danielle Tomei. So it's Krause still on first base, was not able to advance on that pop fly. And it's Tomei at the plate now, who has reached in all 3 of his plate appearances today. Single, double, and walk. First pitch in the dirt from Tetzloff. Gets away from the catcher Bischoff. He still can't find it as the runner Krause hustles to second base. There will be no throw. And he is in there, so another runner in scoring position. Just 1 out here for Tomei. And really, what is another frustrating game for this Boonville lineup. Next pitch on the way, swung on and hit high. This one's going to stay in the shallow left field. Coming in and making the catch is Seb Swangham, who falls as he's making the catch. And that is out number 2. Just wanted to thank everyone out there for sticking with us here on the Boonville Lumberjacks radio network. No, it's not easy, especially on some of these blowout games. It truly does mean a lot to us that you tune into us and choose us as your methods to listen to these games. So here's the first pitch. That one, a fastball up high, misses on the next hitter, Colin Penner. Certainly seems like we've been seeing that better baseball is ahead since the start of the year, as the next pitch swung on and hit hard into right field, but right at Wyatt Lassiter, who makes the catch for out number 3. And that will do it for the bottom of the 5th inning. 2 runs up on the board by Oneonta, and that is it. They take a 14-1 lead as Boonville come to the plate in the top of the 6th inning. We'll be right back on the Boonville Radio Network after this. Maverick Rabe, the new arm out on the mound for the Oneonta Outlaws. 8 innings pitched in 3 previous appearances for him so far this season. 7.88 ERA with a .250 whip. 7 runs, all of them earned on 13 hits and 7 walks. That means that the previous pitcher, Colin Lintell's day is done. 1 1/3 innings pitched for him with no earned runs, just 1 walk. Show for it. A couple errors as well on the defensive side, but mostly a very clean game from Lintell. So Carson Beatty, the slap-hitting first baseman, up at the plate first. So far today is 0 for 2 with the strikeout and a fielder's choice. Here's the first pitch from Rabe. Swing and a miss on that one, down low in the dirt, and Beatty couldn't make contact. Quickly down 0-1. Rabe, another quick pitcher for this Oneonta team, already in the windup. That one down low in the dirt yet again, but Beatty holds up on it. 1-1 the count. Entering this game, the first baseman had 6 hits in the last 9 games, but has failed to get one yet today. Here's the next delivery. Fastball down low, clips the lower part of the zone, and the count moves to 1-2. He's reached base safely in 9 of the 11 games so far that he's played in this year. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss out in front of that one. It's a drop third strike, but Beatty does not bother to run it out. That is out number 1 and brings up the shortstop, Zeb Swangam. Second strikeout of the day for Beatty, both of them swinging, and brings up the shortstop, who's been a little bit more patient so far today. 2 walks on the day for Swangam in his only plate appearances. Here's the first pitch from Rabe. Down low in the dirt, fastball misses, 1-0 the count. This Swangam's 15th straight start. It's been on base in 14 of those games. A machine for the Lumberjack team as the next pitch on the way. Fastball misses outside, 2-0 the count. Doesn't strike out too much. Just 1 in his last 4 games, looking to continue staving them off. The 2-0. Taken up high yet again, 3-0 the count now on Swangam. He's got 4 walks in his last 5 games, including 2 in the earlier stages of this one. Here comes the 3-0. That one taken outside for ball 4, so a 4-pitch walk for Swingham right there. Means a runner on first, just one out here for the left fielder, Will Hill. Third walk of the day already by Swingham, his most in a single game so far this year. And he's been very patient at the plate so far today. Brings up Will Hill, who's got one walk of his own as well as a flyout in the second inning. Stands in from the right side, awaits the pitch from Rabe. Here it comes. Checks on that one, but it's in there for a called strike regardless. 0-1 the count on Hill. Hill pinch hit in the Amsterdam game last night. Grounded out in his only plate appearance. The 0-1 on the way here from Rabe. Checks on that one. It's another one in the zone, and the count 0-2 quickly here on Hill. Struck out in 11 of his 18 games so far this season, but none in his last 3. Looking to keep avoiding the K as of late. Here comes the 0-2. Swung on and hit high into center field. Underneath this one is the right fielder Lockwood, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Swingham can't go anywhere, and he is retired. That brings up the third baseman, Elijah Negron. So it's Negron who's walked and flown out so far today, similar to Will Hill. Bats with a runner on first, 2 outs here in this top of the 6th inning. Stands in from the right side. Rabe checks on the runner before focusing on Negron. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on that one. Negron didn't even get the legs moving on that one, just a kind of half swing. And ultimately went around all the way on it. 0-1 the count now. Negron, a just sophomore out of University of Maryland East Shore, ready for the 0-1. Here it comes. Fastball misses down low, 1-1 the count. Negron, in his last 3 games, has 3 strikeouts. Started off the season as a very patient hitter, but now has 11 more strikeouts than walks. The 1-1 is fouled back behind the plate. Negron just barely got a piece of that one and stays alive. He's got punch-outs in 10 of his last 12 games. Has calmed down a little bit with just 1 in the last 3 contests for Boonville, but still with above-average strikeout numbers. Rabe hunting for his first on the day. Here it comes. Swung on and hit high into right field. Underneath this one is Lockwood yet again, and squeezes it for out number 3. So only 4 Lumberjacks up here in this top of the 6th inning. They fail to plate runs, and it's still 14-1 Oneonta heading into the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll be right back on the Boonville Radio Network after this. New arm out on the mound for the Lumberjacks. Jonathan Tetzloff's day is done with a pitch limit on that arm, just coming back from injury. It was 2 runs surrendered in that 1 inning of work for Tetzloff, and now it's a new man. It's Zeb Swangam coming from third base, and now going out to the pitcher's mound. It's Michael Clarkson, the extra hitter, moving out to third, and Swangam to the pitcher's mound. No pitching stats on Swangam so far this year. As a position player, this is his first appearance out on the mound, and is tasked with keeping a 13-run Oneonta lead at just 13. First batter he faces is Zachary Rao, the left fielder for the Outlaws. 1 for 2 on the day with a single walk and strikeout. Stands in from the left side. Swangam, a righty fielder and righty out on the mound as well. Here's the first pitch. Swung on and hit into deep center field. Davis and Hill converging on it, and it's Hill who can't make the catch. Tried to turn around and grab that one, but misses it. Rao on his way to third as Negron picks it up on the shallow outfield grass, but he can't make a throw, and that is a stand-up triple right there for Zachary Rao. Second hit of the day for the left fielder, a single and a triple now, and it really does look like another mishap in the outfield for the Lumberjacks. Hill was underneath that one, but tried to turn around and spin and make the grab, and ultimately couldn't, and it brings up Michael Camper. Here's the first pitch. Swung on and hit to the left side. Diving play made by Michael Clarkson. Throw over to first is not in time as Carson Beatty can't find it. It rolls over just about 2 feet in front of me, and running around second base there is the batter Camper. So another run scores right there. It's 15-1 as 2 pitches, 2 loud contact swings right there by the Outlaws. It's Camper out there on second with an error against the first baseman Beatty right there. And the runner Rao scores from third. So 15-1 the score now. Oneonta out on top, and it's the 10th hitter in this order, Bruce Mistler, out there, and the designated hitter. 2 strikeouts and a walk so far on the day for Mistler, the DH. First pitch is swung on and hit down the left side. That one going to get through for a hit, however. Coming around third and scoring at home is Kampner, and Mistler holds up at first. Another RBI single. It's been 3 pitches and 3 hits for this Oneonta team. Mistler makes it 16-1 as he celebrates over on first base. Swangam frustrated out there on the mound. Not a pitcher by trade, though, so can't be too frustrated, as in steps the leadoff man, Jack Lockwood. Swangam ready. Here comes the first pitch. Down low in the dirt. Bischoff has to block that one. Gets in front of it, and the count moves to 1-0. Lockwood so far today has flown out, doubled, reached on an error, and popped out to third. Stands in on the left side. Here comes the pitch. Taken up high for ball 2. Fastball misses as Bischoff has to reach up high to grab that one. With a loss here tonight, Boonville likely too far out of the playoff picture as the next fastball from Swangam misses up high. 3-0 the count. Coming into today, they basically needed to win out and needed some opponents to have a terrible end of the year. As here's the next pitch. Up high yet again, and a 4-pitch walk right there to Lockwood. Runners on first and second. No outs here for Blake Fortunato. But with a loss tonight, they basically had to win every single non-Amsterdam Mohawks game. Steal one away from the Mohawks, and one of the Utica Blue Sox or the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs had to finish 3-11 to finish the year. As the first pitch is taken high into right field by Fortunato. Underneath it is Spanky Davis in right center, who makes the catch for out number 1. Clarkson cuts off the throw over at third, and that brings up the center fielder Nolan Stark. But ultimately, with another loss, it looks to be too far out of reach, even mathematically, for Boonville. Good play down this stretch would be probably unlikely at this point in the season, with a depleted bullpen, some injured arms, and a tough schedule coming up. So here's the first pitch on Stark. Down low in the dirt, stopped by Bischoff. The runner Stark breaks for second, but has to pull up on it and go back to first, as the runner on second, Fortunato, didn't want to go. Still 14 games to be played for the Lumberjacks, though, as the next pitch misses from Swangham. Got to finish out the season. Obviously, last year was the first time that the Lumberjacks had made the playoffs. As here's the 2-0. That one comes up and in and almost hits Stark, but instead misses in the count 3-0. And obviously, lots of expectations heading into this year. Looking to follow up that performance as the 3-0 on the way, down low in the dirt, and Stark draws a 4-pitch walk. So bases loaded now for the extra hitter, Caden Kraus. And ultimately could not live up to those expectations. It was also the first team in Boonville history to go 500, just to match the win and loss record. They went 20-20 with one tie as well. As here's the first pitch from Swangham, down low in the dirt. And ultimately, coming into this year, there were a lot of projections that put this team in the top 3, definitely in the top 4 of this playoff race. As the next pitch up high for ball 6 in a row. But ultimately, after what was a slow start due to not a lot of pitchers, they finally got some arms in that bullpen, finally got some good starters, ripped off 5 wins in a row, and then since then, really just haven't been able to put it together. If the Lumberjacks go on to drop this one, this would be loss number 11, the longest active and streak of any kind in the PGCBL so far this year. But the players keep showing up. That's the important part at this part of the season. Here's the 2-0. Swung on and hit through the right side. That's going to get down for a hit. 1 run scores from third as a second is being waved around. Stark going to third. He's in there safely. And that will make the score 18-1. Oneonta out on top of this one. That brings up the catcher, Fabio Marquez. Not an easy team to watch at points, but very grateful to all of our listeners and viewers who do choose to tune in daily, weekly. As here's the first pitch. Fouled off. Marquez just barely got a piece of it. Good thing for most of these players, well, all of these players, is they have a bright future ahead of them in the baseball world. Lots of these young men going to play at Division I universities, and even more at solid D2s, as this one lined into center field. That's going to get down for a hit. 1 run scores as Kraus is being held up at second. The score is 19-1, Oneonta on top. But ultimately, it's just a lot of great players, a lot of D1 arms, a lot of D1 hitters that just couldn't put it together as a team. Very good coaching staff as well, as the Oneonta dugout chanting that they want someone to be subbed into this game. First pitch in there for a called strike on the next hitter, Danielle Tomei. Here's the next one. Taken up high, 1-1 the count. looking at this roster when we first got it all the way back in February, it was a lot of D1 names, some of which didn't report and ultimately never ended up coming to this team, but a lot more that have stayed and have played this entire season, as this pitch hit foul back and out of play. And we saw a lot of great individual performances, especially through the first couple weeks of the season. Even last week, Tyson Harmon named the PGCBL co-pitcher of the week. A couple all-stars in Jackson Baptist and Michael Clarkson. As the next one lined into left field, that one going to get down for a hit. Run number 20 comes across the board for Oneonta as 21 held up on third. Long throw from the left fielder Hill is not in time. 20-1 your score here at Damaski Field. Colton Penner at the plate now. But ultimately this team just couldn't really put it together as a whole. It seems like when one aspect of the team was firing, whether that be the pitching, the hitting, or the fielding, the other one was really lagging behind. As Zeb Swangham just kind of looks around out there on the mound. 19-run deficit, a position player being forced to pitch, and not an easy situation for him to be in with 2 runners in scoring position here. First pitch down low on the next hitter, Colin Penner. Next delivery. Checks on that one. It's in there for a called strike. I'm sure we will see some departures in the coming weeks from Lumberjack players as the next delivery swung on and lined into center field for another single. And it's going to be 21-0. Oneonta out on top. Up comes Zachary Rao, who led off this inning. So a string of 3 singles in a row. Balloon the lead to 20 runs. This is by far the most that the Lumberjacks have lost by so far this season. Looks like there's a pinch hitter here by the Oneonta Outlaws. It's going to be someone who is not on their roster. Number 26 hasn't recorded an at-bat so far this season. Standing in from the left side. First offering from Swangham is taken in there for a called strike. It's going to be David Denton, the pitcher. 4 games played with 6 2/3 innings pitched. 4.05 ERA. Swings and hits this one into shallow center. That one gets down for a hit. RBI single for Denton right there as run number 22 comes across the board. And pitchers getting hits off of position players. It's opposite day down here at Damaski Field. Brings up Michael Camper once more. So batter number 12 of the inning here for Zeb Swangham. Got a feel for the shortstop out on the mound. First one is hit to the left side, PFP as he goes to second, but ultimately throws the ball into center field. Denton won't go anywhere as they're just holding up the runners at this point. So an error right there on the pitcher, Swangham. Looking ahead for this Boonville team, there's a matchup against Utica. That's going to be 5:30 tomorrow at Dr. Robert Smith Sports Complex. Then away at Glens Falls on Monday. And back here in Oneonta on Tuesday. Both of those games at 7 p.m. We will have a broadcast for all 3, or actually every remaining game for the rest of the year, as the first pitch in the dirt by Swangham will be here on the Boonville Lumberjacks YouTube page. Swangham ready. Here's the next delivery. Swing and a miss on that one. Mistler out in front of that one, and the count 1-1. even though it has gotten bad, especially for some of these away games, it's never quite been this bad for the Lumberjacks as the 1-1 misses outside. A 20-4 loss in Glens Falls, where the team ran sprints on the field afterward, does stick out as a particular low point. As a swing and a miss there by Missler, he goes down 2-2. But 22-1, that's got to be probably one of the worst score lines in the PGCBL this summer. 2-2 is in there for a called third strike as Missler can't get the bat off the shoulder. He goes down looking for out number 2. Lineup flips over for the second time this inning. It's Jack Lockwood, who's already walked in this inning, at the plate now. Kind of running out of things to talk about here, to be completely honest, as that one fouled back. 17 hits by the Oneonta Outlaws, 2 by the Lumberjacks, 4 errors in the field by the visitors. Next pitch is in the dirt. Lumberjacks came into this game with the second lowest batting average in the PGCBL this summer. As the next one in there for a called strike 2. Lockwood looking to get on base for the third time here tonight. The 1-2. Swung on and hit into left field. Lassiter's there for out number 3. And that will do it, but not before the biggest inning of the night by Oneonta. They play 8 and make it 22-1, heading into the top of the 7th inning, excuse me. We'll be right back on the Boonville Radio Network right after this. Well, if you're still listening right now, you can confidently call yourself a Boonville Lumberjack die-hard fan. 22-1 the score, just 3 outs away, unless the Lumberjacks can plate 12 runs in this inning from the game being over. First pitch on Seth Bischoff in there for a called strike 1. Lumberjacks, assuming they lose tonight, will drop to 8-21 in the standings as the next pitch outside on Bischoff. Oneonta will get their 10th win of the year. Not that many games ahead of the Lumberjacks in the standings, but really came out tonight and poured it on. Fastball misses again, 2-1 the count. Bugs are starting to engulf my equipment over here down the first base line. Some sort of gnat is all over the table here as that one misses as well. 3-1 the count. Tomorrow is also Little Leaguers night, as here comes the 3-1, swung on and fouled to the backstop at Robert Smith Sports Complex. Bring your Little League jersey for free admission and a meet and greet after the game with some of the players. That's going to be a 5:30 start time at Robert Smith Sports Complex against the Utica Blue Sox. Payoff pitch is in there for a called third strike right there on Bischoff. One out in the inning for the leadoff man, Kanias Davis. Davis so far today 1 for 3, walk, strikeout, and ground out. Here's the first pitch. In there for a called strike one, excuse me. Still Maverick Rabe out on the mound for the Outlaws. Next pitch, taken in there for strike two. It was Davis in the Swingman Classic last night. Got called third strike on him in the 9th inning, ultimately on a pitch that was way outside. He's down 0-2 right here. That one down low in the dirt, 1-2 the count. Boonville still searching for their first away win, not against the Utica Blue Sox so far this season, as Davis checks his swing but does not go. 2-2 the count. Have more opportunities for that down the line. Obviously not gone their way tonight. Here's the 2-2 to Davis. Swung on and hit into shallow right. That one gets down for a single and goes into the alley. Davis hustling around first and going to second base. He's going to be in there safe. Takes a long turn around second, but stays put. It's a one-out double here in the top of the 7th inning for Kanias Davis. And Boonville finally have their third hit of the game. 2 of them by Davis, the other a single by Carson Beatty. So in comes the next hitter. It's going to be Devon Abaga. Takes strike one. I feel like every time I come to Damaski Field, I do say it's a very nice field, especially when the sun's going down. It's right above the scoreboard, very beautifully built. As Davis breaks for third, he is out. Good throw by the catcher. Marquez gets him, and that is out number 2 of the inning. So Abaga could be the last batter in this game. He's down 0-2. Here comes the pitch from Rabe. Down low in the dirt, 1-2 the count. That one misses outside as well. Count all even. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Abaga ready for the pitch. Here it comes. Swung on and hit to the third baseman. Camper's got it, but it's foul. Just foul down the third baseline, and they'll do the 2-2 once again. Abaga so far in this game, 0 for 3. Did reach on an error in the 5th inning, but that's been it from the shortstop. Swings and fouls that one to the backstop. I see Eric Shepard over there in the chat. Big game tomorrow with Eric Shepard on the mound. It's going to be a big one in Dr. Robert Smith Sports Complex. Can't wait for that start. Here comes the 2-2 on Abaga. Swing and a miss, and that will end the ball game. Boonville Lumberjacks go down 22-1, their worst loss in the PGCBL so far this summer, and that will do it for the broadcast as well. It's going to be Eric Shepard on the mound tomorrow. Everyone very excited for that one. It's going to be a 5:30 start time. We'll have that one for you here on the YouTube. That's going to be a home game at Dr. Robert Smith Sports Complex against the Utica Blue Sox, but that's going to do it for us here in Oneonta tonight. 22-1 the final score as the Boonville Lumberjacks go down to 8-21 on the season and drop further into last place. I'm Evan Simbita signing off here on the Boonville Lumberjacks Radio Network. We sincerely thank you for not only sticking with us through this game, but every game, and hope to see you again soon. Have a great rest of your night.